Foxes, welcome back to my channel. This is Brittany from Foxborough Vintage on Etsy, Shop Foxborough on the Poshmark app, and then I also have a handmade business, The Purple Hedgehog, on Etsy. Today's video is going to be all about what I sold in January on the Poshmark app. So I sold 50 items total in January, and it was $1,084 in sales. We'll go over each item, whether or not I would buy it again. And at the end, I'll give you a recap of kind of what my take home was. So the first item is this LuLaRoe Irma tunic, and I don't think that I would pick this up again. I'm really trying to hustle out all the LuLaRoe from my closet. They just have so many lawsuits going against them right now. And I just think that they're kind of on the decline, and this was kind of a different sort of pattern. So I just went ahead and took whatever offer I received on this one and moved that one out of my closet. The next item I had listed for a long time, you'll see at the bottom my date code. So that was listed since April of last year, and I got this at the Goodwill bins. Normally I wouldn't pick up something so like tatty, I guess. If the leather was really worn. You can kind of see how much wear there was to the leather, but it still had life left and the clasps still worked. And it was a fun little just wicker basket purse, and I thought that somebody might be able to save it, and I hate to leave stuff like this behind. Would I pick this up again? Probably, just because I'm a sucker for vintage, and I don't know. I would probably get it again, even though I shouldn't. So it only sold for $10, so I was happy to move it along. But mostly I'm just happy to find that a new home and someone that will use it. The next item was a ModCloth cardigan. It's by the brand Tool, and I'll show you the tag. This is their older tag. They don't really sell this brand anymore, but in the beginning when they first started, this was a very common brand to find on their website. And this one sold within, I think, 2 days of listing. So you can see down here, I've shortened my date code, but it did sell at the beginning of January, and it was listed in January. This one was actually a Faded Glory item, which I don't normally ever pick up, but I do love a novelty print, and it was a 4X, so I thought it was a really good size. It was a cute print, and at the time there weren't any others listed on Poshmark in this size, so I went ahead and listed, I think I had it at 23, and I got an offer of 15, and for a Walmart brand I felt that that was reasonable. The buyer was not happy with their item though, and they felt like it was too pilled, which I didn't really see any pilling on it, and they did lose their case, so my money was released to me. This one was new with tags. It sold for full asking price of $45, and it was by Moon Collection. So I'll show you that tag. And that's another brand that is sold at ModCloth. And that one took about a month to sell. So it was listed in December. The next one, I picked this up at the bins. It was a little bit worn. I guess this CC Exclusives, I didn't know what it was, but it's sold at like the paper store and other little like boutique-y type places. I listed this in November. I was experimenting with, trying things on and doing like modeled photos for hats instead of just my little mannequin head. And it didn't sell for much, $7. So would I pick this up again? No, I think it was more effort to list it than it was worth. So this one is by Sweet Pea, and I'll show you the label. It had pockets, which I thought was great, and it was a 1XL. So I'll pick up almost anything that is a good plus size with a nice print, and especially if it's got those pockets, that's great. This is more of like a tunic dress. It did take a long time to sell. I had it listed since October, and I kept sending offers to likers on this one, and it sold for $14. I should probably tell you if these are offers to likers or not. So this one was an offer to liker, so I also paid $1.50 shipping discount. The next one was a Patagonia Kamala convertible skirt, so it can be worn as a skirt or as a dress. See, here is what it looks like as a dress. You can tie the little knot around your neck. And that one sold as an offer from the buyer for $20, and I went ahead and accepted that. These are actually pretty popular skirts when I look them up on Poshmark. This is definitely a style to look out for. It didn't take that terribly, well, I guess it was listed since November, so it took a couple of months to sell, but it wasn't terrible. This was a piece that was actually mine, and I wore it a bit and decided that it needed a new home. It did have a bit of pilling on the thermal part. You can see that here. So I let it go for $16, and I, let's see, sent out an offer to likers, so I did pay $1.50 shipping discount on that one, and my earnings was $11.30, but I'll go over that at the end, just what I made in total. And this was obviously mine, so yes, I would buy it again because I got a number of wears out of it. This is another ModCloth brand. It is Mystic. Not all of their stuff is sold at ModCloth, but this little floral skirt was, and it was also an offer to likers. I do sell a lot of things with offer to likers. It had a little invisible zip in the back, and it sold the same month that I listed it, within like a week or two, I think. The next thing is these knit shorts. And these are just fun. When I saw them, I really couldn't resist them. They're so different. And they did sell very quickly. So I listed them in January. They sold in January. And the buyer sent me an offer. Oh no, I'm sorry. I sent an offer to likers and the buyer accepted. So I think I only offered a 10% discount on that, because if I list it in January, the same month that I listed, I only offered 10% discount with offer to likers. So I must have listed it for $26, and then they accepted a $23 offer with $4.99 shipping. The next two items sold as part of a bundle. The bundle was priced at $45. This was a little bird print dress with a heart cut out in the back. Here's the little birds. It was very pretty, rayon, very soft, but I had it listed since June of last year. And it sold in a bundle with these earrings, which I had bought from an Etsy seller who's a friend of mine, for myself, but they ended up just being a little bit bigger than I normally wear, so I really wanted to get back most of what I paid for them, because I had never really worn them, and so I just kind of bundled the two together for her and gave her a really good price on the bird dress, in order to get back what I had paid for these earrings. So that sold for $45, and there was a shipping discount with that too. It was $1.50. This one was an H&M gray tweed skirt. There was no offer to likers on this one. Somebody just came in and made me an offer. I think I had it listed for $23. They offered $18. That's within my normal range of, if it's 30% of my asking price or less, then I will accept right away without any haggling. And so this sold with an offer from the buyer. This is another ModCloth brand, Poema, and this one had been listed a while, since September, so I did go ahead and send out an offer to likers on this one, and I did pay a shipping discount, but it sold for $18. Would I buy this again? Probably not, but I did make okay money on it, so I'm happy enough with that. I always list my wool vintage skirts for $45, and this one was listed since November. It was a larger size. The buyer offered me, I want to say $20 for it. We went back and forth a little bit. And then I opened up their bundle, and I just let them know that $36 was my lowest, and that, I was happy to accept that, but I had countered $36 a couple of times, and I wanted to let them know that that was my lowest, and they ended up buying it, and she needed it very quickly, so I shipped it out the next day, and she was very happy with her skirt. So this item I got at the Goodwill bins, so I hardly paid anything for it. I thought it might be a little better than it was, but when I got it home and looked it up, it was actually sent in the FabFitFun box, and so they're just like everywhere on Poshmark. There were tons of them. I found this little photo from the FabFitFun website, and then took some of my own photos. And it had one small little run in the back here, but it wasn't really noticeable. And it did sell within, I think, 3 days of listing, so that one sold very quickly. I had it listed, I think, for 23. Someone offered 13. There were so many others listed on Poshmark, and mine had a flaw that I just went ahead and accepted it. And I was happy enough with that because I probably paid like 75 cents for it or something. The next item I love. I stayed firm on the price of this one for a long time. You can see I had it listed since last August, but I really loved it. I knew it had to go to the right person, and I had gotten a couple of offers on this before, and I had sent out some offers to likers, but I did not want to undercut myself, so I stayed firm, and somebody came in and offered me $20, no shipping discount, and I accepted that. I had it listed for $29, so I felt okay about that. This one sold within, I think, 2 days of listing. It sold very quickly. The buyer came in, I had it listed for $26, and the buyer came in and offered $20, and I accepted that right away. And I'll show you the new ModCloth label here. This one I just could not leave behind at the Goodwill bins. It was this horse hat, and if you look up close, the manes on the horses are all fuzzy. It's like yarn. And this actually sold very quickly. So I think within 2 or 3 days of listing, this had sold. And I listed it obviously in January, and I got an offer from somebody, so there was no shipping discount. I think I had it listed for 23. They offered 15. It was no name brand, just kind of funky, and somebody liked it, and I wanted to have that go to them, so I accepted their offer. The next thing I had listed since October, it's funny because someone tagged the person that bought it, and then that person came in and liked it, and then they didn't make an offer right away, but I had it listed for 23, and I ended up sending an offer for 16 with $1.50 shipping discount, and they came in and accepted it. I just liked the colors. I liked that it was gold. And if you asked me if I would pick this up again, probably not, but just because it doesn't go with the aesthetic of my closet, not because I didn't think it was worth it. I think I got it at the Goodwill bins, so I didn't pay much for it. This is something that I bought on Poshmark for myself. Sometimes if I'm making an order out of someone's closet and they have a bundle discount, but I'm not at the bundle baseline yet, like if they have a 20% off 3 or more items and I've got 2 items picked out, I'll add in another item just to get that bundle discount. And this was one of those items. I knew that if it didn't look good on me, I would be able to resell it. So I took pictures. I had this listed since September, and it did sell for $18 with a shipping discount of $1.50. And that's not really something that I would pick up in stores, but I did want to go ahead and purchase that bundle, so I knew that I could put that in my closet. So the next item is a blouse by the brand Jules. It's a UK brand. They make a lot of like rubber wellies and whatnot. And I actually got this from a friend. She had it in her Poshmark closet, and I thought it was really cute and I wanted to try it. And it ended up not working for me, but I put it up on Posh and it sold within a couple of days. So that one moved pretty quickly. The next one I would not buy again, but I don't know, I just thought it was kind of unique. It was a denim hoodie. And when I looked up the brand Serengeti, it was like a catalog brand. I thought this might be vintage, but it wasn't. They are still selling these on serengeticatalog.com. Well, I guess I knew it wasn't vintage because they have the URL right there. But anyway, so they only retail for $40. I think I had it listed at $23, and someone came along and offered me $15, and I just went ahead and accepted that. The next item, I am introducing some boutique items into my Posh closet, slowly but surely. And this little kitty cat pin, I loved. It has 50 likers right now. And I have a couple left, but this one sold for a full asking price of $10. And I do try and stay firm on my boutique items for pricing. The next thing is a men's item. I've been listing a lot of men's shirts, and I sell them sometimes. It's really hit or miss. I can't figure out a pattern. I tend to do pretty well with J. Crew, and I have done okay with Brooks Brothers. I think I've sold 2 of each of those brands. I can't seem to move any other brands. But this one sold with offer to likers for $18 with the shipping discount of $1.50. The next one is an elephant infinity scarf. I got this at the bin, so I probably paid about 75 cents for it. It was a little bit heavier. It was like a double lined, so the inside was a solid navy and the outside had elephants in it. And it ended up taking quite a while to sell. See, if I had it listed since the end of October, and it sold from an offer from someone. I had it listed at 16 and someone offered me 9, and because I had it listed for a few months, I decided to go ahead and take that. And would I buy it again? Yes, because I'm a sucker for novelty prints, and this has cute elephants on it. This was something that I bought for myself from Poshmark, but then I got it home and tried it on, and I did not like it. So I ended up listing this one at, I think, $78. And someone came in and offered me $54. And I went ahead and accepted that. And it sold within a week of listing, so that was a pretty good turnaround. Sorry, I'm getting a little sick over here. This is another one that I bought for myself off of Poshmark. I wore it a couple times, and then I did some sweater shaving, cleaned it up, and listed it on Posh. I think I had it listed for $26, and someone came in and offered me $20, and I went ahead and accepted that, and that was another one that sold pretty quickly. Again, I listed it in January. It sold in January, so less than a month. I think it took maybe a week to sell. The next one sold very fast. It's a llama short sleeve sweater. It's just a Target brand. I got this for myself as well, but I didn't like how it looked on me. So I popped it in my Posh closet. It fits right along with my theme of quirky, novelty, fun stuff. And there are tons of these listed on Poshmark, but, you know, I took a nicer photo had measurements in there, and I listed it for 16 and someone offered me 12, so I went ahead and accepted that. The next one was a vintage fringe collar sweater, and I just thought this was really fun, kind of quirky. It was a little bit cropped. I love fun vintage pieces, just things that make a statement or are different, and you're not going to find them anywhere. I mean, you're not going to just go out and find them at a store. So this was really cool, and someone came in and offered me 25. I think I had it listed for 38. And I had it listed since October, so I went ahead and accepted that offer. The next 4 items sold in a bundle for $90. So this one was listed since October. I got it and wore it once, and it just ended up being too big for me. It came as part of like a reseller lot that I purchased from someone, and I wore it once. And then this next blouse, I don't remember where I purchased this, but I'd had that one since September. And this cat tunic was just listed in January. And the brand on that one was Sweet Rain. And this ModCloth kimono. So they came in, they said they loved my closet, they loved all the prints that I had picked out, and they offered me $90 for all 4 of these items, and I'd had 3 of them since like September, October, and then one of them I had just listed, so I went ahead and accepted that offer just to move some inventory out, and honestly, $22.50 per item is pretty good, so I wasn't upset about that. The next item is another ModCloth item. It was just listed, so it sold pretty quickly. It got a lot of attention. It had 26 likers by the time that it was purchased, and having the belt, I'm sure, really helped because a lot of times those things go missing, but this one had the belt, and it did have a little bit of wear on it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I did take a sweater shaver and kind of try and trim it up. And I got it pretty good, but I definitely disclosed that there was a little bit of wear to it, and someone accepted one of my offers. It was 10% off with a shipping discount of $1.50, and somebody accepted that. The next item I've been trying to sell forever. I actually bought this from Anthropologie in one of their sales. I'm pretty sure I paid a decent amount for it, so this might have even been a loss for me, but every time that I wore it, it just got tangled and the flowers flipped around, and I liked it in theory, but it just didn't work on me because I am too chesty, I think. So someone finally sent me an offer on this, and I think I had it listed for 45. Someone sent an offer for 29. I had literally had this posted for over a year, and I just wanted some of my money back, so I went ahead and accepted that one. This is another one that sold for less than I would expect. It was a 1950s dress. I didn't pay a ton for it. I think I only paid like $5 or $6 for it. I had it listed for 56, and there was nothing really wrong with it. The shape was a little bit weird, so it was an hourglass shape, but the dress form pictures just didn't do it justice. I should have pinned it to make it look a little better, but I didn't want to deal with rephotographing it. I kept marking it down. Someone finally came in and bought it for $16 during closet clear out. So not a great sale, but definitely a cute dress. This one actually surprised me. I picked this up to sell on eBay because I've heard that the Pure Jill and what is it called? It's like Wherever collection J Jill do well there. So I went ahead and listed this on eBay, but I listed it here too just in case. I love purple, so and it had pockets, and I was surprised. Yeah, it sold really quickly. I think I had it listed for $36. Someone came in and offered me $30 for it, and it sold within the same month that I listed it. The next one is an Old Navy sweater. I did a little sweater shaving on this. There are a bunch of these sweaters listed, and there's some for like $8 and $10, but there had never once on Poshmark been a 3X listed. And it was a really cute print, and I wanted to see what I could get for it, so I went ahead and listed it at $26, and somebody came in and bought it outright, full price. So I ended up making $20.80 on that sale, and it sold within a few days of listing, and the buyer left very happy feedback. She was so happy to have the cute sweater, so that one made me happy. This is another vintage wool skirt. Since we're wrapping up the kind of wool skirt season, I did take a little bit of a lower offer on this. I had it listed at, I think, 56, I believe. And then someone came in and offered me 25. And then before I could counter, they actually canceled their offer. So I went into the bundles and I left them a message saying that I was going to counter offer 35 if they still wanted it. And they said they did, but they were waiting for some Posh money to come in. I asked if I could hold it. I said I couldn't because I had it cross-posted, but they were free to come back and send me that offer anytime. And she actually did come back a couple of days later and send me that offer, and I happily accepted. So it sold for $35. The next item is a blouse that I picked up in Japan many years ago. And I had this listed since March of last year. And I finally rephotographed it, I think in September, and relisted it. And it did eventually sell. I had it listed for $23, and it sold with an offer to liker with a $1.50 shipping discount on top of this $16 price. This one was a quick flip. I listed it. It sold a couple of days later. I had it listed at 12. I sent an offer to likers for 10 with a $1.50 shipping discount. So I made $5.55 on this, and for a little kids item, I thought that was pretty good, and it turned around really quickly. This one I actually bought because I've noticed that Empty Hanger seems to pick up Zara accessories, and this one was a nice 100% wool hat. It has that very vintage style to it, so I felt comfortable picking it up. And it sold very quickly, so I listed this one for $38. Someone came in and offered me $25. I thought to myself, you know, that's a decent offer, and I'm going to go ahead and take that. So I did accept. There was no shipping discount, and they just straight paid $25 for it. Okay, so there's just a couple items left. I'm going to speed through this last bit. I sold these 9 West leather booties. I had them up to, I think, 45, and I sent an offer to likers, and someone countered with 31, and I accepted. This one sold as an offer to likers for 18 with a $1.50 shipping discount, and I had this listed since November. I do really well with these LL Bean sort of vintage wool sweaters. This is the tag. It's 100% wool. It was a women's extra large. And I had it listed, I think, $67, and someone came in and offered $55. I felt like that was reasonable, and I accepted. This one I almost got rid of, taking it to consignment, but I decided to send out one last offer to likers, and I went ahead and sent one for $16 with the $1.50 shipping discount. So I really wanted to move this item. It was listed since June and it had a couple of flaws. And so I sent that offer out and someone accepted, and I was very happy to get that out the door. Second to last item was a Rowan hand knit cardigan. This is a yarn and textile company. They send out, like, they have kits that you can buy to, it's like a pattern company for knitting. And it was very nicely done. It was about a size extra large. I started it around the $56 range, I think, and this is what the pattern looks like on. And someone finally marked it down to $24, and someone bought that. And the last item was a pink blush maternity dress. This was mine. I got it secondhand. I didn't pay full price for it. I had it listed at $45 and it's still on their website for $61. Someone came in and offered me $30 and I decided that was pretty good. And I went ahead and accepted. So that is it for my sales for January. I worked really hard for the sales that I did get. I did some cleaning out of my closet, as you can probably tell. I listed 130 new items in January, and I made, let's see, $1,084. And after fees, I made $859. So it's a little over $200 in fees taken out. I separated out all the sales that I had that were $15 and less because Poshmark takes a flat $2.95 out of those sales. And if you calculate the percentage rate of all of those, I actually paid about 25% fees to Poshmark instead of the normal 20%. So it's definitely beneficial to sell things that are over $15. Or else you really end up taking a bigger hit on the percentage with those fees. So that was it. I was definitely trying to push out a lot of inventory, get rid of some stuff that I had listed for a long time. And it was an okay sales month for me. I'd like to hit 1,500 every month. That's a goal of mine. But it didn't happen this month, and sales were very hard to come by through a lot of the month, and it's only now, after all of those items are listed, that I'm starting to see a little bit more regularity. So consistency is key, and you just got to keep pushing even when it's slow. So I hope seeing these different items and what they sold for was useful to you. If it was, just leave me a comment down below, say hi, give me a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel if you like this sort of video. I'm going to be trying to put this out every month at the end of the month, and then I'm also going to be doing one for Etsy as well, so you can see what's selling on that platform. All right, well, have a great February, and I hope that your sales are up there and that the trend goes on the higher side rather than January, which was very slow. So hopefully we can get the ball rolling and get some sales going. And I am rambling now, so I'm going to sign off.